Greetings from the heartland of the United States, the city of fountains, the city of oceans, Kansas City. Do we have oceans here, Dennis?
I haven't seen an ocean in quite a while.
Oh, oceans of love and generosity, oceans of love and acceptance, oceans of mercy and compassion. Kansas City. We have guests from all around the world today. We are hosting Precious Blood Renewal Center. Host families are joining from San Antonio and United Kingdom. Our guest speaker is Fulya Shaker, Australian-born San Antonio resident. And as we addressed before, we have representation from 28 different countries during the whole Ramadan. We are gonna watch videos from kids all around the world, including Uganda, Tanzania, United Kingdom, India, Malaysia, Indonesia, and whatnot. And I will briefly talk about Dialogue Institute. My super buddy, Kelly, won't be able to join us today, but she will be with us on Friday. So Dialogue Institute of Kansas City is a nonprofit organization promoting peace, dialogue, and mutual understanding. But in my own words, an organization trying to contribute to the global warming of hearts, to depolarize our world. Inspired by a Muslim scholar, Fethullah Gulen, who has been recognized nationally and internationally by different magazines and universities, and people inspired by him has opened schools, charity organizations, and dialogue institutes in probably more than 160 countries. And the local organization, Dialogue Institute of Kansas City, has been organizing different events, including friendship dinners, Saturday brunches, Mother Mary dinners. We had actually with Precious Blood Renewal Center, it was before the pandemic, the first annual Mother Mary, Dinner of Mother Mary. And pandemic didn't stop us. Last year, we started these virtual iftars where people from different countries joined us. But this year, I think our dream came true. Representation from 28 different countries. That was our dream and which came true. Hopefully in the future, we will have more diversity, inclusion. I like that quote, diversity is a fact, but inclusion is a choice. So we chose to include all, let's say. So before further ado, I would like to invite my friend Dennis Cody from Precious Blood Renewal Center. We have had many events together so far, but Dennis, let me introduce you briefly and then have you with us. Dennis Cody manages communication and outreach for Precious Blood Renewal Center. He maintains the Renewal Center's website and email newsletters. Dennis?
Thank you. Yep. Thank you very much for inviting me to be here and for the center to be a part of this. This is the fourth year that the Renewal Center has hosted a Iftar dinner with the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City. And that's a friendship that we value greatly, and we're so happy to be a part of that. The Renewal Center is part of the Roman Catholic faith tradition, and we're sponsored by a group of Catholic priests that are known as the Missionaries of the Precious Blood. And our place, it exists as a safe and a sacred place that's dedicated to renewal and reconciliation, to restore hope and promote healing of people and cultures. And this year, we are especially inspired by our Pope Francis, who has challenged us to meet and form relationships with the believers of other faiths. And I'd like to share with you just a little bit of Pope Francis's latest teaching. It's a letter that's called Fratelli Tutti, which means brothers and sisters all. And he says in that letter that a journey of peace is possible between religions. Its point of departure must be God's way of seeing things. God does not see with his eyes, God sees with his heart. And God's love is the same for everyone, regardless of religion. Even if they are atheists, his love is the same. when the last day comes and there is sufficient light to see things as they really are, we are going to find ourselves quite surprised. It follows that we believers need to find occasions to speak with one another and to act together for the common good and the promotion of the poor. This has nothing to do with watering down or concealing our deepest convictions when we encounter others who think differently than ourselves. For the deeper, stronger, and richer our own identity is, the more we will be capable of enriching others with our proper contribution. And so with those words, with that inspiration, I welcome all of you. Thank you for being here, and I wish you a Ramadan Mubarak.
Thank you, Dennis. You took this dialogue one step beyond. Do you want to talk about your friend, how she made the Turkish food for and put on YouTube channel, I guess?
Yes. Our director of hospitality, because of the COVID situation, we started an online cooking program with Lucia Ferrara, our hospitality director, and she does recipes and mixes cooking and spirituality together. And as preparation for tonight, she met with Uma, someone from the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City, and learned how to make Turkish meatballs. And so if you go to our website, you will find the YouTube about how to make Turkish meatballs. And then also during the video, Lucia and Uma have a little talk about what is Ramadan, what is Iftar, why is this recipe special, and things like that. And it's really a quite special video, and it was fun to make and fun to watch.
Thank you, Dennis. And I felt fortunate to be at your grand opening of the Precious Blood Renewal Center. Thank you so much. Before introducing our keynote, well, actually, let me introduce our keynote speaker, Fulya Şeker, and we can have her. Fulya Şeker is an Australian-born journalist, educator, translator, and voiceover artist. She is currently in the final stages of her PhD candidacy in Australia. Her doctoral thesis focuses on representations of democracy within the Turkish press. She joins tonight from San Antonio, Texas, with her husband, Mehmet Şeker, and the host Oz family. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your gracious invitation to join you for tonight's Iftar event. So I'll just minimize you over here and get...
Could you just speak a little bit up, please?
Okay. How is it now?
Well, perfect.
Now?
Excellent.
Perfect. So tonight we will first touch on the Muslim practice of fasting during the month of Ramadan. I will then walk you through a day in the life of a fasting person, after which we will finally look through a window at some of the internal and spiritual aspects of fasting for Muslims. So here we go. One of the Muslims' best known acts is the month-long daytime fast during the 9th lunar month on the Islamic calendar, the month of Ramadan. The Ramadan fast is the fourth pillar of Islam, alongside the declaration of faith in God's unity, i.e. monotheism, and the prescribed prayer that go before it, and the prescribed purifying alms, as they're known, and the pilgrimage that come after. From before dawn to sunset, those who observe the fast are forbidden from eating, drinking, smoking, and marital relations. In addition, one may not chew or swallow any external substance or take any internal medications. Fasting starts with the first dawn of the new moon. And likewise, the Ramadan fast ends when the new moon is sighted. The fast starts at the first thread of light at dawn. This is somewhere between 1.5 to 2 hours before sunrise, depending on the time of year, and this is maintained until sunset or the beginning of the night. So who is required to fast? Fasting is obligatory upon every adult, mentally and physically healthy Muslim. There are exceptions for people who are ill, weak, elderly, traveling a long distance, or who are otherwise physically unable to fast. Children do not need to fast until they reach the age when they become accountable for their actions. Now, in Islam, this is essentially adolescence. Menstruating and postnatal women are also exempt. Younger children who insist on fasting are sometimes encouraged with half-day fasts. So parents set a time, such as until lunchtime at school or between meals, to allow them to partake in the fasting experience and break fast in their own little way. So Ramadan is a sacred time. As the month in which the Quran was first revealed, this month is considered the most sacred phase of time on the Muslim calendar. It is the third of what is known as the blessed 3 months and is observed by Muslims worldwide as a month of fasting, prayer, serious reflection, and community. The name of the root in Arabic, and many Muslims might not even be aware of this, comes from a root word in Arabic meaning summer's heat. So this is quite fitting given the connotations of fasting, of being parched, dried out from excessive heat, or being very thirsty. Fasting in Ramadan is an exacting, demanding spiritual discipline that encourages one's awareness of one's dependence on God and an affinity with other human beings, especially the poor and needy. A person's religious fervor is renewed and their regard for others is made keener. So this is what I call the crucial twofold relationship of the vertical and the horizontal. One's relationship with their Lord on the one hand, and their connection with their fellow human beings on the other. The charity of fast breaking, what is known as Sadaqah al-Fitr, is the alms that is offered at the end of Ramadan by every Muslim who is financially able. So it is paid for oneself and one's dependents, so for one's spouse and one's children, both to purify those who fast, as well as to help the poor and needy. Ramadan is a time of serious reflection, to be sure, but by no means is Ramadan a sad or even a somber period. Ramadan is a joyful time, a time of celebration when friends and extended families, like so, gather for food, reflection, and collective worship. Places of worship are visited and spiritual retreats and vigils held. Being the month when the Quran began to be revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, upon him be the best of blessings and peace, recitation of the divine word can be heard throughout Muslim neighborhoods and households long into the night. So these are the things that make Ramadan a blessing. Increased focus on God and your own spiritual welfare, spending more time devoted to God in prayer or reading the Quran, reflecting on the purpose of your creation, and of course, coming together with others, as we do tonight. During Ramadan, there is a special longer prayer that is not offered at other times of the year. The Taraweeh prayer, as it is called, is in the evening and usually falls about 1 to 2 hours after the fast is broken. And many of our friends will continue to offer and observe this prayer after this program. As I mentioned at the start, the Muslim calendar is a lunar calendar, but unlike the Jewish calendar, no month is inserted to align it or match it up with the solar calendar. So because the Muslim lunar year is shorter than the solar year by 10 to 12 days, it falls back by this amount of time every solar year. Because of this, Ramadan comes 10 to 12 days earlier in each year, and so it cycles through the year and seasons. So, and this is another fascinating point. Because of this, It falls in all of the natural seasons every 33 solar years. So this variability is itself regarded by Muslims as one of the manifestations of God's mercy. It distributes the benefits as well as the challenges due to location and season that people living in different lands might experience in connection with their religious observances. For instance, and for obvious reasons, fasting is easier in winter than in summer because of the temperature and reduced number of daylight hours. I remember when I was in high school back in Australia, we were fasting in sweltering summer heat. And just as Ramadan started moving towards winter, fate would have it, I moved, as you do, to the other end of the world, where we began moving again into summer, only then, about a decade later, to move to this part of the world where we are still fasting in hotter temperatures. But admittedly, this trend has been interrupted now and then with some time spent in Australia. I was there last Ramadan, for instance. Now, let me walk you through a day in the life of a fasting person. You get up at around 5 a.m. for the pre-dawn meal, along with the others in your household. This is the time that is between the middle of the night and dawn. The later or nearer to the cutoff time, the better. Your meal could include a bowl of cereal, some fruit, last night's leftovers, if you should wish, a full-blown meal, or just a date and a glass of milk, whatever works. You make the proper intention to fast, that is, to fast solely for the sake of God before dawn comes. It need not be spoken out loud because intention is an act of the heart and God is fully aware of everything we think, say, and do. Then you spend some time in remembrance of God, entreaty and reflection until the dawn prayer. Depending on the time of year, you may even get the chance to get in a few hours of sleep before you go about the rest of your day. You spend the daylight hours at work or school, going about your everyday activities as you normally would. Remember I said I was in Sydney during Ramadan growing up? Well, we used to walk to the train station, catch the train to school, walk to school, play soccer, take exams, do everything we normally would do when we were fasting. That said, staff members and workplaces would and still do make allowances for Muslim students or employees who are observing the fasting month. Okay, so now you're back at home and the countdown begins. By this time, you're counting the hours and then the minutes to the breaking of the fast. The joy of sitting together around a table, waiting for that exact moment when you can take that first cherished sip of water. You raise your hands and turn to God in supplication in these precious last moments when all prayers are accepted by the hearer of voices in all the different languages. And then resounds the call to prayer. The command has been given by the Lord of the universe. Permission has now been granted. You may now eat and drink of his provisions. And so you take that very glass to your lips and take that sip. You can virtually trace the exact position of the water as it trickles down your esophagus. There is no moment quite like this. The rest is history. And now for the third part. One of the inner or spiritual facets of this exacting outer and physical exertion. Tonight, we will be looking at this aspect through the exalted personality of Mary. May God be pleased with her, the mother of Jesus. God himself introduces her in the Quran, stating, "Her Lord accepted her with gracious favor." The angels also extol her exemplary status, as stated in another Quranic verse. Mary, God has chosen you and made you pure and exalted you above all the women in the world. In the verse which immediately follows, God calls on Mary to draw near to him in prayer. Mary, be devoutly obedient to your Lord, prostrate and bow with those who bow. The Quran describes her response, and she was of those devoutly obedient to God. Mary excelled others in worship. It is said that she would stand in worship for such long hours that her feet would swell. In the command for her to observe the prayer, the parts of the prayer mentioned specifically, namely the prostration and bowing. This order is very significant, as the prostration is the most important cornerstone of the prayer. It represents the point of greatest humility and oneness with the earth, as well as being the point at which the believer is closest to God. This spiritual relationship is thus not just an act of the heart, but also one of the body and limbs. An entire chapter of the Quran takes its name from the family of Mary, and yet another is dedicated to and indeed named after her, it tells us, and make mention in the book of Mary. She withdrew from her family to a chamber facing east. Thus, she kept herself in seclusion from people. Mary's spirituality is embodied in her spiritual solitude, her retreat with God. Like her mother and father, she was devoutly obedient to her Lord and forever sought to increase in nearness to him. Mary's space of seclusion was her mihrab, that concave prayer niche of a mosque which marks the direction of prayer. This was her retreat, her place of rest, repose, and renewal. In fact, many Muslims will set up little mihrabs in their homes during this month. The mihrab then, that prayer niche, is understood as a place where one worships in solitude, struggling against carnal temptations and desires. It is a place of introspection, reflection, prayer, and supplication. This is the believer's space for spiritual seclusion. Here then is a direct connection with the period of spiritual retreat that is particular to the last 10 days of the month of Ramadan. This is called itikaf, and it has its own specific conditions. For instance, one must stay in the place of worship, refrain from unimportant matters and the trivial, turn their back to worldly affairs, and turn absolutely to the hereafter. So here we have three aspects of Mary's exemplary status. One, her utmost reliance on God. The Quran tells us that Prophet Zechariah would often find her with provisions when he came to the temple, with fruits that were out of season. So he would find her with fruits of the summer during winter and fruits of the winter at summertime. Two, her submission and deep devotion, as exemplified by her prayer that we mentioned earlier. And three, her closeness to God, her spiritual retreat and nearness to him. So what does Mary's illustrious example whisper to our hearts regarding the month of Ramadan? First and foremost, we see in her elevated example a profound spiritual connection with God. We see in her person how a mind, a body, and a soul can be completely dedicated to him. Earlier, I had mentioned Ramadan as a time of serious reflection. This is the time when the fasting person becomes deeply aware of themselves, their duty of servanthood, and with that, turn to God in great reverence. Listening to oneself thus and carrying this period of seclusion and retreat through to the rest of our lives is very important, that we may hear the messages coming from beyond our material world. In wrapping up, let me invite you to think about fasting as that prayer niche. It is that appointed area, that sacred space in which we turn our faces to God in humble reverence and renunciation. As we renounce our physical provisions, our carnal whims and fancies, the ephemeral, our own selves, we find ourselves provided for with sustenance that is beyond the physical confines of this worldly existence. It is as though at dusk we drink from that heavenly fountain, and at every pre-dawn meal reach the resurrection, and in so doing connect with the divine essence again and always with his permission and tremendous grace. Thank you.
Thank you so much for a wonderful talk. You pointed out very important areas. I am, let's see, checking our audience. If you have any questions, please write on the YouTube chat box. I can pose to our speaker today. So when you talk about Ramadan, you talk about how joyful it is. What is your most memorable and joyful Ramadan experience? I guess you have experienced Ramadan in Australia and United States, in any other countries, or mainly those two?
I have actually, and I believe I've experienced Ramadan in Norway as well. In memory. I think one of the most precious memories of Ramadan for me is sharing that experience with those that we love. Because it is through that communal spirit that I mentioned, that horizontal, that connection we make with others, that I believe we can make and establish a connection with God. Mm-hmm. To love the created by virtue of the creator. And Ramadan, what a beautiful occasion for this, when people are not looking at, Ramadan is observed by Muslims worldwide across myriad cultures and traditions, and we're all doing the same thing, and for the single sole purpose of earning God's approval and pleasure.
There are some comments and questions. One is by a friend from Kansas City, very inspiring, referring to your talk. And another person said, wonderful sister. Another one says, thank you, Fulya. And here's a question. Are there special prayers or devotions or practices for that last 10-day period of Ramadan?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you for all your comments and feedback. The purpose of that spiritual retreat is to, as I mentioned, to exhibit utmost devotion, reflection, supplication. So Muslims will spend that time in a place of worship. They'll read the Quran, reflect upon its meaning, recite the different names of God. They will turn to him in entreaty and earnest supplication, making prayers for themselves, their families, their loved ones, all of humanity. They will spend hours doing this. And of course, being in a place of worship, they'll observe the prayers in congregation. And the idea is they don't leave the mosque at all, that place of worship at all. So even I remember, just as a personal thing, when I was living in Turkey or even in Australia, it's very difficult, as you can imagine, to spend that last 10 days in its entirety, having to go to school or to work, etc. So what I used to do is, if I'm going to spend some time in a place of worship, I might make the intention that this is going to be my little retreat. This is going to be my little itikaf. So even if it's for a matter of an hour or 2 hours, make that intention to spend that time in retreat, in spiritual seclusion, and just turn to him and try and hear the voices that are coming from beyond, the messages that are being whispered to our hearts in that precious time that the hustle and bustle and the craziness of the world that we live in distracts us from. I hope that is an answer to that question.
That's a perfect answer. Before asking you another question, I will play a video of kids from India, but I want you to be on the camera, please. And let's hear why kids love Ramadan.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yusra Ahmad. I live in Kuwait. The thing which I like most about Ramadan is the decorations. We put lots of colorful lights and lanterns in our house. And I also like eating iftar with the family. I get to eat my favorite dishes every day. Thank you and Ramadan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Mishal Uruj. I'm super excited that the blessed month of Ramadan is round the corner. Ramadan for me is getting together with friends and family and having iftar with them. It's about connecting with Allah and making lots and lots of du'as. As kids, we can do lots of fun activities like creating our own calendar with 30 days of good deeds, or decorating our homes. Ramadan Mubarak.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Roser and he is my brother Zohan and we are from India. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar. In this month the compilation of Quran was done. We Muslims fast for Allah. I like Ramadan because in this month the whole family unites and do many things like offering namaz, reciting Quran and making sehri and iftari.
I like Ramadan because of iftari. My mother makes tasty iftari for all of us.
Ramzan Mubarak!
Beautiful.
Enjoyed our video. Kids from India has shared their Ramadan feelings, opinions, experiences today. Let me check the chat box. There is one question. Let's see. It's a little bit less clear to me, but how many types of fasting do Muslims have to do in Ramadan?
Okay, I can kind of interpret this question in my own way. I hope
Sure.
for the purpose. So the Ramadan fast in itself is just that. It's the obligatory Ramadan fast. Now, fast is delineated as with other practices, Islamically speaking, as those that are mandatory, those which are recommended, those which are voluntary, and then there's separate subcategories. So the Ramadan fast is the obligatory fast, and it is the month-long fast. In fact, and that's why it's so important to make the intention, and we do that when we get up for the pre-dawn meal, as I mentioned, for that, and at night as well, if we should so wish, throughout the month. Now, there are other kinds of fasts for the Muslim that are recommended by the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. For instance, he would fast on Mondays and Thursdays. In fact, and Muslims believe that fasting, like I mentioned about the prayer and the prescribed purifying alms and the pilgrimage, are all practices that are legacies of previous prophets and messengers, because we see Islam as the completion of the divine message to humanity. So when asked by his companions about the most rewarding kind of voluntary fast, the Prophet was said to them and described the period, the fast of David, Prophet David, upon him be peace, who used to fast every other day. So he himself used to fast Mondays and Thursdays, or he'd fast on certain days of the first month, Muharram, the first month on the lunar calendar. So they're the different categories of fasting for Muslims. I hope that answers the question.
I hope that's I guess. Thank you so much. So you are joining from San Antonio, and I guess you are with the family who will be our host family today. We are going to connect them after Adhan.
Yes, I'm very
So,
excited to be here.
so talking about your San Antonio Ramadan experience, how do you celebrate Ramadan in San Antonio, both as an individual, as a family, but also as a community? Are you having any community like interfaith Ramadan dinners? Not just this year, maybe the last 2 or 3 years you have been in San Antonio.
Mhm. Thank you for the question. Absolutely. Of course, it's changed shape and form this year. Prior to moving to San Antonio, we had a short stint in Houston, and I was blown away by the Ramadan that we experienced there, because the mosques, of course, we didn't have a thing called COVID then. Every single night, all of the different mosques would offer meals to whoever wanted to come. So my husband and I would go to different mosques to see and to experience those different communities. That's one of my most memorable experiences. Coming to San Antonio, I just feel like this is one of the most welcoming, beautiful communities that we've just found ourselves blessed to be in. This year, as I said, Ramadan continues with the beautiful iftar dinners, though virtual. So I've participated in several virtual Ramadan breaking of the fast meals. And admittedly, of course it's not the same, but sitting together, as we will do a little later, across the same table, it feels like, and conversing and sharing is something that I believe we're going to take with us for a long time and talk about. And I didn't mention this, but I think this is the perfect place. I feel as though at this period, God is placing us in some kind of compulsory period of retreat that I mentioned about Ramadan, in isolation, in seclusion. If only we know how to tap into it. That's the key.
That's a great.
We find ourselves in this itikaf, which is beyond our control. If only we can avail ourselves of the blessings and opportunities that it offers to us.
How about your Australia Ramadan, interfaith Ramadan experience, especially?
Wow, my Australian interfaith Ramadan experience, from having iftars, we would have iftars held in Muslim homes throughout the cities. So people would apply and they would come, a certain number of people could come on, and every single night these iftars were held in just everyday families and their homes. They would open up their homes to the community. Anyone who wanted to come could come, break fast. From those meals to those that were held at the Parliament House of Australia, part of the state parliament, which I had the honour and privilege to attend. So sitting across the same table with Australia's Governor General and seeing that spirit of Ramadan and all of course the representatives of the people themselves sitting around the same table in the national city or in the state parliament, depending on where we were, and just sharing those moments together is just priceless. I just remember many a time being reduced to tears at that atmosphere and just breaking bread together when all other differentiations, distinctions melt away, because this is what we share. This is our common heritage. And it is something I've felt so strongly across the years.
You also talk about you spent one Ramadan in Norway. How about that one?
Yes, well, Ramadan in Norway is a challenge, to say the least. As I said in the talk, just the variability, the fact that Ramadan cycles through the seasons. I might be chasing Ramadan in summer, but then this summer, there's people in Norway, they would be fasting 21-hour days, for example.
24 hours, 21 hours, sorry.
But of course, they make up for it later because their days in winter are awfully short. So up until 3 p.m., I think, from memory, they would be breaking fast. So that's the beauty of distributing that so everybody equally experiences the joys and the tribulations, if any, that are associated with the seasons.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
thank you to Precious Blood Renewal Center. Thank you to the Dialogue Institute of Kansas City
thank you
for allowing me to partake in this amazing event with you all tonight.
We have about 3-4 minutes for the adhan, but before that, I'm gonna play a video of a local doctor from Truman Medical Center from Egypt. Let's see what she thinks about, or what she says about why the health benefits of fasting.
Assalamualaikum everyone, this is Dr. Aniza Irfan. I work at Truman Medical Center and I wanted to talk to you guys about the positive impacts that fasting has on our body. So according to medical literature, it has been proven that fasting can prevent the aging process. It can also prevent cancers. In addition, it can help lower our blood glucose or blood sugar levels. It can help lower our blood pressure. And it can also help lower our lipid levels, which are basically your cholesterol and your triglycerides. In addition, fasting can help with weight loss, and fasting can also help prevent neurodegeneration of the brain, which is basically aging of the brain, where people are more prone to dementia or to other disorders of the old age of the brain. I hope to see all you guys fasting this Ramadan. Stay blessed!
And before saying bye-bye to you, this is our small calligraphy for you.
Oh, that is absolutely beautiful.
We can electronically send that to you.
That is beautiful. What a blessing.
Thank you. Thank you so much again for joining us today. It's a pleasure and honor to have you. Like my other friends comment on YouTube chat box. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now, I am gonna play the video of advance, which is Islamic call to the prayer by 6 different imams from Egypt, Turkey, and United States.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. May peace prevail on earth. Amen. Now we can break our bread. I am drinking my water while breaking my fast. And we are connecting to Oz family from San Antonio. Mehmet and Tuba, will you be able to join us now, please?
Yes, sir, but you disabled our video. Please.
Oh, really? Who did that? No, that's not nice. Okay, I think I did it now.
Yes.
Oh, what a beautiful family.
So we have guests as well.
Oh.
Our neighbors, they are visiting us.
Hello, neighbors. How are you?
So thank you for having us one more time. I'm sorry we haven't prepared the music for this year.
No problem.
No. Yes.
Your talk is like a music, no problem. Your talk is
Okay.
harmonious.
Okay.
Who are those? Can we have their name?
So Neda, she has something to say.
Neda, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you?
I am doing pretty good. Neda, how is
She really
Ramadan?
got excited. This is Neda, Nevra, Inji, and Neil is coming.
Okay, Neda, what you have to say for us today?
So Neda, she was fasting. She started from the first day. She fasted 5 days. Then she, no, sorry, 6 days. Yes, 6 days. Then she gave 2 days a long break.
Neda, how is Ramadan going for you? What do you want to say?
It's kind of easier now that I'm used to it. So.
And Nevra, she also fasted 1 day. Yes. Oh, she fasted. I didn't know that she fasted.
How old are you, Nevra? How old are you?
8.
8? Oh my! So you are fasting at the age of 8. Gracious! Wow.
Yes. So in our neighborhood, we have families living close to each other, and we are enjoying being together and breaking bread together.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this is the spirit of the Ramadan.
That's right.
Yes.
So the kids, how do you spend your Ramadan? Do your parents get you gifts or?
So this year we organized a thing where for every day of Ramadan we would get a small present, and then during Eid we would get a big present. And normally before COVID, we would go to the raindrop house and we would stay there for the Terawih prayer, and the parents would pray while we would get snow cones and ice cream and watch a movie and everything. So that was fun. So that's different this year.
How about this little girl? How old is she?
4.
4? Oh, fasting would be hard for you, so I'm not gonna push you.
So Neil, she was here. She's fast. She said, "I am fasting between breakfast and lunch." That she
Then
doesn't
lunch
have any snack between breakfast and lunch.
Wow. So I guess I know that you're also pretty active in San Antonio as Raindrop Foundation and Dialogue in Community. What kind of interfaith Ramadan events?
So this year we organized a virtual Ramadan dinner. So they drive through dinner, virtual gathering, And we had breakout rooms as well. And we see that all of us, we miss to be in person. Yes.
Yeah, last year it was the first time to have these virtual gatherings.
Yes.
I guess a lot of people are in a way tired of this, although it still, I guess, keeps its fun part, but people miss gathering in person.
Yeah, but we believe this is the time that it's a great opportunity that we can come together with our friends. And the spirit of Ramadan, the helping each other, understanding each other, and at least the kids, they can learn as well. And in every occasion, we are trying to learn and let them learn as well.
Will the other join us?
Yeah, Nils, she's here. She will tell us about her Nils, she is the one who liked to open her gifts in sahur.
Neil, how are you, Neil?
She said that I have to, if she doesn't wake up for the sahur, she doesn't open her gift. So I have to call her for the sahur.
He's a little bit shy today, I guess.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
For having, it's always a joy and honor to be with
now, but Kelly, she's not here. We missed her, and still our invitation is open. An open invitation to you, your wife, and Kelly.
We'll keep that in mind. Thank you so much. Kelly will join us on Friday. She couldn't be with us today, but she'll be with us on Friday.
Okay, say hi from us to her.
We'll do that. Thank you, girls. Take care. Bye-bye. Now we are joining to Kuru family in United Kingdom. I guess you can turn your camera on. Hello, hello, hello. It's very early or very late. What in UK?
Yeah, it's 2:10 at the moment. They are a bit sleepy, but we are okay. Thank you very much.
Thanks for opening your house to us. Yeah, we want to know a little bit about you, who you are, your names, and then your Ramadan experience. Would you please start?
Yeah. Okay. My name is Ayşe Nur. I'm the mom of this family, actually. These are my daughters, Dilanur, Alanur, Simanur, and my husband, Ömer. Actually, we have been living in this country since 2006, and we have had unforgettable Ramadan experiences each year. But unfortunately, this year, we couldn't invite any guests at our house because of the, coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
But it's saddening, but getting to see you all together tonight has really let me, that excitement again. Thank you for your opportunity. Thank you very much. It's an honor to be part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Dilla, and I just want to say it was so pleasant to listen to all those speeches beforehand. It was a really lovely experience. I mean, for Ramadan, I think it captures both the community and the individual aspects of religion, and I think that's really a scarce opportunity within daily life. So it's really valuable, and each year, I think not only does the order of fasting remove eating and drinking from our days, but it's removing all the mundane tasks and leaving you to isolation, just like Fulia was saying earlier. And when that goes on for a month, it enforces that spirituality. And I think that's probably the most special part of Ramadan for me. As for experiences, I'd say different environments really have their own charm. I mean, back in Turkey, obviously hearing that call to prayer, it's so valuable, and everyone else in the country is having the same experience as you are. So it's really fulfilling. And when we're here, I mean, we've been here for a very long time. So we've had many Ramadans here. I mean, this one's really unique, and this is a lovely opportunity. here we've got people who are both within the community and outside of it who are so interested and invested, and that's really, I mean, that brings gratitude, and we really appreciate it, and it feels really lovely.
Yeah.
So how did you like our adhan, call to the prayer?
I thought it was so good. I mean, it was so unique. Each person was so unique, but it was so harmonized. So it worked so well.
Yeah, it is original, actually, especially done for this event, virtual Ramadan program. I'm glad you liked it by 6 different imams.
Mhm.
And I guess you now go to college, right?
Yeah, I'm in first year of uni. Yeah.
So I got this note that you went to a Catholic school.
I did. Yeah, my high school was
So
Catholic school.
let's hear about your Catholics. And actually, we don't really like to use the word coincidence. Instead, like planned by God, we have a Catholic group, the Dennis.
Yeah, I know. I heard of it in the beginning. Yeah.
And we can have Dennis with us. If you are available, Dennis, you can join back. Yeah. I honestly didn't know until today that she went to a Catholic high school. Yeah, how many years? Like the whole high school, or?
Yeah, from year 9 until year 13, until I graduated. Yeah, I was at a Catholic high school.
Uh-huh. How was your experience?
It's really lovely. I mean, I think we share so many of the same values. That's kind of why I really chose to go there. And the community was just accepting, and they really do. I felt understood, I think, and you still do get questions about what you're doing and the significance of the things that you're doing, but it's always you're always welcomed. And I think that's probably, I mean, it was probably the best experience I could have had in high school, so I'm grateful.
Great. Wow, it's also great to hear the Australian, American, and British English accents today. Today is a unique day, I guess, in our history, also as Dialogue Institute. How about Dennis?
I didn't catch the young lady's name.
It's Dilla.
Dilla. Oh, what you said was very nice, very profound. I'm glad to hear your reflections on what Ramadan means. It was very, very helpful for me to continue to understand that. So thank you for that.
Yeah, we can have you as a speaker, keynote speaker next time.
Yes, yes.
We are always looking for speakers. And so how about those little daughters, little girls?
So do you want to go first?
Can you speak up a little bit?
Hi, I'm Alana Kura and I go to a Catholic school too. And first of all, I want to say happy Ramadan to my grandma, my granddad, and my auntie and my cousins.
Oh, I feel like I'm a radio host. Go ahead, please. That's fun.
Yeah.
So I go to a Catholic school too, and I really like fasting. We fasted for last year too, and it's a little bit hard for me to do it at school because like we have to skip lunch and do other things, and I have a friend in school and she's fasting with me too, so I feel good when I have someone to do it with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a friend and she was asking me, what did you have for lunch? And I said I didn't have lunch, and she said why? And I said I was fasting, and she was like, what's fasting? And I was like, it's something when you like don't eat or drink anything, and then in the evening you open your fast. And she said, oh, that's really cool. And I was like, thank you.
Oh, I'm glad she said that's really cool instead of boring. Wow. She's already a very mature girl, I guess, at your age. Your friend is also so mature. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Yes. And
Hi, I'm Imanur. My experience with Ramadan, well, last year I had a great experience from what it feels like to fast like full. So this year I'm also fasting full as well. So it's like nice. I had nice experience of what it feels like. So yeah.
Would you like to mention the experience last year? Your teacher asked about,
Yeah, she asked me, well, what do you think about Ramadan and all that? So what I said was, well, there's poor people out there, and we try to feel like them, and then we help them out. Well, we always do help them out, but we help them out as well.
And also, you had another experience.
Could you speak up a little bit? Could you speak up a little bit?
Could you speak up?
Yeah, speak up a little bit.
Okay.
Volume up, please.
She had another experience, last year, and I really want her to tell the.
What is that experience?
Yeah, your teacher asked, who did fasting, and you said me, and she asked you, how did you feel that?
That was this.
Yeah.
Last year it was. And you said I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did I say again?
Exhausted.
Yeah, I was exhausted because it was so long. When was the day gonna end? It was going on, but it did have an end to it. But it was fun.
And also you said, I was exhausted, but I feel good inside.
Yeah.
That's important. How about Ömer abi? Your
Yeah, brother Eyüp, it's nice to see you again. Thank you very much having us. It's great, Ramazan, all the family together. So special time, and this is a great opportunity to share this great moment with you and friends, brother Dennis and sister Şeyma. It was beautiful presentations they shared with us, and also the other family, host family. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I remember meeting you, I guess, about 6 years ago or 7 years ago in Turkey, in Konya, and with a group of friends from Houston, Chicago, and St. Louis, United States. And we have visited your school, and we had this running joke where baklava originated. We wanted to do a social experiment in a way, and our Turkish friends definitely expected, or definitely said, it's Turkey, but we wanted to tease them. And our American friends, with my order, asked, where can I find Greek baklava? Greek baklava. So some people were very not okay with that question. But I came up with a poem. I'm not going to read today, but neither Greek nor Turkish. My name is Baklava of Peace and Justice.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's good.
So that's what the dessert to me should convey. It's tasty. It should, it's sweet. It's not bitter. So, and I remember that you sent you sent boxes of baklava to our friends, American friends in Istanbul. So thank you again on a live show.
It was a pleasure because, there are so many different baklavas, made by different people. But I'm from hometown of baklava, Gaziantep. I was born in Gaziantep.
Oh, that's your hometown. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's why, that discussion was so important for me. So, thank you. Yeah, it was beautiful. Yeah, and your group was the special group for us. I had a very special connection with the group and with all the members. I really enjoyed your company.
Actually, again, we had Catholic friends in that group. Catholic friends from Houston, Chicago, and St. Louis in that group, and 2 Muslims from India were with us that day. By the way, in our YouTube comment box, your longtime friend Ahmed says hi to you. Thank you, Kuru family. Ahmed Yençay, you might I'm not white, you know.
Yeah, we love them. We love all the family and members. Yeah,
Yeah.
we love.
Thank you. It's also always pleasure to have you. If all of our friends are available, we would like to have them back to be with us. Dennis, Mehmet, Oğuz family, Fulya Hanım, if you are available. We are about to end this program for today. Well, the families might already started eating, so I'm not gonna push them to join us if they are not available. But oh, look at this, very nice dinner table. Are you inviting me? Oh my gosh, what a lovely dinner table. So tomorrow we are not having a virtual dinner, but Friday, another virtual dinner with St. Andrew Christian Church, longtime friends for us. Maybe, let's see, I guess we have been having events with them for 14 years. That's, yeah, St. Andrew Christian Church. We are gonna connect to families in Chicago and South Africa, and we'll play videos of kids from Turkey and Pakistan this time, and also collage of videos of Islamic call to the prayer from Egypt, US, and Turkey. Thank you so much all. Enjoy your dinner, Mr. Mehmet. I am hungry here. You are eating. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.